In this video, we'll be talking about colors. You know, colors are very important in everything called graphics that we do, be it black and white. Yes, black and white are colors also, if you don't know, and then I'm telling you now. Now, colors is a very vital part of graphics, and Photoshop is one application that is very good to work with when it comes to do with colors. Okay, now I got so love and thanks to the makers of Photoshop, the owners of Photoshop, because they did a very good work with the interface of Photoshop, because it's very easy to use. Now, colors can be selected from different parts of the screen. You can select colors from your swatches panel, you can select colors from your color panel, you can select colors from a color gradient. Now, but the two basic places we are going to talk about in this particular video is the swatch panel and the color panel. Okay, now the swatch panel have a swatch of color to choose from, and as you choose, to know that the color you selected is active, you look at the tools panel. At the bottom of the tools panel, where you see two colors, with the first color being the foreground and the back color being the background color. Okay, now for you to change the color of the foreground, just click on it and you'll see a color picker for you to select a color of your choice. Okay, and to change the color of the background, you also click on the background and it brings out the color picker that allows you to select another color for that particular background color. Now, when you work with the swatch and the color panel, you are changing the color of the foreground, not the background. Okay, and as you can see, as I slide the RGB sliders here, if you look at the background, you discover that, sorry, the foreground color, you discover that it changes to any color I select right here in my colors panel. And you can switch between colors from the background to the foreground by pressing a very simple key, and that key is the X key. Now, when you press the X key on your keyboard, you discover that the foreground color becomes the background color and the background color becomes the foreground color. Now, you can do that a couple of times to confirm what I just said. And while working on your document, if you select any tool that has to do with brushes, for instance the brush tool, and you happen to brush a particular area, now you discover that the color it brushes with becomes your foreground color, not the background color. So if I happen to change this, you discover that if I brush now, then I'm brushing with what? A different color altogether, which is our foreground color. Now, the brush you are using is the foreground brush, not the background brush color. Okay, so whatever you're doing in Photoshop that has to do with painting, coloring, you're working with the color of the foreground, not the background. Okay, so that is how to select colors in Photoshop. As we move on with the course, we look at some other ways we can work with colors and some other tools that deals with selecting of colors in one way or the other. I'll see you in the next video.